Did you know that in Tokyo Disneyland there's a secret restaurant in the Haunted Mansion? Brer Bear's house can be seen from Splash Mountain, and you can find 20,000 Leagues in Adventureland. I'm Jordan from 8-Bit Theme Park, and join me as we discover 5 more hidden secrets at Tokyo Disneyland. First, we're going to go to the newest part of the park for Baymax's Happy Ride. Since it opened in 2020, this flat ride has become something of a cultural phenomenon here in Japan. The ride plays one of 6 upbeat original songs made specifically for the ride, with each song having a dance routine that the cast members perform on every ride cycle. When I saw this on opening day, I thought, oh, that's a really fun thing that will only happen today. But here we are 3 years later, and not only have the cast members kept it up, but the routines have become such a big hit with guests that they'll dance along around the ride, sometimes forming huge crowds. This turns the queue into a nightclub, which is a really fun way to pass the time. The queue of the ride also has some great references to the film, but if you look across the way, you'll see some vending machines that resemble Baymax-style cats. As if that wasn't cute enough, look up and you'll spot Hiro's fluffy cat Mochi napping on the roof. If you're able to be here when there aren't so many crowds, you'll even hear the quiet purring of this comfortable kitty cat. If you're enjoying this video and you want to learn more about Japanese theme parks, please hit the subscribe button. Speaking of comfortable critters, for our next stop, let's hit Critter Country, where you'll find the world's last remaining Splash Mountain. As the land was created specifically for the ride in 1992, they were able to continue the story of the ride throughout the land in a way that they really couldn't do in the American parks, which resulted in hundreds of these cozy little homes for critters of all sizes. You seriously can't look anywhere here without spotting something adorable. Look at this one! Look at these tiny doors! But for our second hidden secret, we're looking for the home of a very specific critter that we know. If you look towards the mountain before entering the indoor portion of the queue, you'll see a cave with a very familiar club outside and a postbox marked Brer Bear. I hope for his sake there are no bees in there. The adorable details of the land extend into its restaurant, Aunt Sarah's Kitchen. The food varies from standard Japanese omurice to some more quirky options, but it's worth it just to pop in and explore this adorable eatery. It disguises its size so well by being full of little nooks and crannies to cozy up in, and the outside seating area offers views of the ride's logs floating by, right after the final splashdown. But it's next door where you'll find our next secret, in the Haunted Mansion. Well, not actually in the Haunted Mansion, but in the queue. You see, Tokyo Disneyland doesn't have a ton of space, and when they built Aunt Sarah's Kitchen, they wanted to eat into some of the area where Haunted Mansion's queue is. Now, the 999 haunts weren't so happy to see the cute and cozy restaurant from their delightfully unlivable retreat, so they insisted that the restaurant be disguised from this one corner to fit in with the mansion's aesthetic. So if you're ever in the Haunted Mansion queue at Tokyo Disneyland, you can look up at this window knowing that its inhabitants are in fact cute critters, rather than grim grinning ghosts. Speaking of windows, most Disney Parks fans are aware that, on Main Street, it's worth paying attention to them. And whilst we don't have the same elaborate window decorations that Disneyland in California has, there are still some neat displays. The Magic Shop is my personal favourite, where we see Mickey the Magician levitating his glamorous assistant, Minnie. There's also this cute display with Huey, Dewey and Louie, who have made these remarkably accurate sculptures of some of their friends. If you look at the second floor windows, you may expect to find tons of references to those who worked on the parks, like you can in America. But here, the honor is reserved for those at the very top. When you're leaving the park, you may notice the window above you is dedicated to Masatomo Takahashi, who was the original founder of the park. But there is another reference further along the street to Toshio Kagami, who headed up the construction and development of Tokyo DisneySea. Across the road from there, you'll see Jim Cora, who was the first head of international Disney parks and was instrumental in the communications between the Disney Company and Oriental Land Company. I also always find it amusing that there's a Ben Franklin quote in one of these windows, encouraging people to save money. A welcome reminder in this expensive area of the park. For our last hidden secret, we're in Adventureland, where one of the park's most popular restaurants is. The area has heavy Typhoon Lagoon vibes, with a boathouse and steamship boiler room that have both been converted into restaurants, China Voyager and Boiler Room Bites. But interestingly, if you look at the sign for Boiler Room Bites, it has another name, 20,000 Leagues, which is both a terrible pun and a reference to the 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea ride you can find next door at Tokyo DisneySea. based on the 1954 movie based on the Jules Verne novel. The Magic Kingdom Park in Florida also used to have a 20,000 Leagues ride, which is sadly long gone. But did you know there are a bunch of things at Tokyo Disneyland that were removed from the Magic Kingdom decades ago? Some of them are really surprising and controversial, so if that's something you're interested in, then you should check out this video next.